Why were you ashamed of yourself like never before? Once I was visiting my friend. I was only 11 years old. We were sitting on an expensive white fabric sofa and watching TV. At one point, I began to feel very bad. I got up and ran to the toilet. I began to feel very sick and I was tormented by a terrible pain in my stomach, as I thought. My friend immediately ran after me to help me. When I felt better, we went back to the sofa and the place where I was sitting was covered in blood. It was a very expensive white sofa. Later I noticed that all my pants were also covered in blood. We were very scared and called an ambulance. I thought that I would die now, because blood was pouring out of me. My friend started crying and screaming and I repeated after him. Later, an ambulance came to us. We showed them that blood was coming from me. You should have seen their faces. I remembered them for the rest of my life. They told me it was my period, explained what it was. My parents are very Christian and didn't tell me about it. Therefore, the ambulance just left and we all calmed down, but my parents had to pay for cleaning the sofa and we still communicate with a friend. This is both a shameful and funny story. When I was about 10, my armpits started to produce much more sweat than before because I was going through puberty. This produced a smell that my dad was not happy about. He told me the smell was coming from my private parts, and he was very angry at me because he assumed I wasn't washing with soap. I was washing with soap. After my dad continuously screamed, belittled, yelled, and berated me, I started to wash my private parts heavily, 2 times a day. Which led me to get a yeast infection and made me smell worse. So we went to a gynecologist and the doctor told me dad that it could be my sweat glands causing the smell, but my dad didn't believe him. My dad forced me to let him watch me bathe every day to make sure I was using soap. I still smelled because I was producing sweat uncontrollably in the day and it didn't matter if I washed, I needed deodorant. After frantically scouring the internet for answers to why I smelled, I found out it was my armpits, and I needed deodorant. I begged my dad to buy me some, but he just berated me more. He didn't have any medical condition like an allergy or SMTH, so he should have been fine buying the deodorant, but no. He screamed at me telling me he couldn't stand the smell of it and I didn't need it. Fast forward like 6 months of more abuse from him for this and he finally buys it. And lo and behold, I don't fucking smell anymore. The feeling of absolute disgust and self-loathing and fear my dad put me through made me so ashamed of myself, my 10-year-old body. He legitimately made me want to kill myself because I honestly had no fucking clue what was going on. I can never get over those 6 months. I was in an emotionally and financially abusive relationship. My partner had semi-isolated me from my family. He'd made me feel like I couldn't let my mom come in the house, even though she owned it. One day my mom arrived on the doorstep. Her dog, our old family dog who had a bit of dementia, had gotten out, panicked, then ran in front of a bus. She'd passed away straight away. My mom was devastated, but because of how my ex-fiancé had been for so long, I hesitated to invite my mom inside. Obviously I did eventually, but I've always regretted and felt ashamed of myself for hesitating. I also didn't get to properly grieve for her because of the worry. It probably happened almost 2 decades ago. Yet tonight, hearing my mom worried about her current dog has brought it all flooding back. I think I'm finally grieving the loss of our old family dog. So tomorrow, I'm going to go to 2 places we used to walk her. And I've just sponsored the Golden Oldies section of the dog rescue near my mom as a way to remember her. My girlfriend and I went to Washington State one year, and one of the days we were there we decided that we wanted to climb one of the many peaks of Mount Rainier National Park. We got up in the morning and stopped at a McDonald's for breakfast because we wanted it to be quick. She ordered a medium iced coffee drink with whipped cream and such, all the shazam that coffee drinks offer. I was surprised and also concerned that she wanted to drink a large amount of caffeine right before a physically trying hike that would last a long time. I was afraid that she might get sick as she has a delicate tummy that gets upset easily. I gave her a look, but I'm really bad at displaying worry and it came out as judgment as she perceived. She started crying because food is a sensitive thing for her. I didn't realize how it came off and my stomach dropped instantly at the feeling. I pretty much thought about it all day for the entire hike. When I was in 4th grade, I was playing Red Ace/Red Ass with my brother, my at the time best friend, and some other kid. I don't remember why, but my brother and best friend decided to start bullying the other kid. They started whipping the ball at him for no reason, chasing him around the schoolyard, but they did so. I didn't actively participate, but I stood by and watched. The kid ended up moving away shortly afterwards. I should have said something. Ironically, or maybe deservedly, my former best friend and the rest of my friend group started bullying me a few years later. Nobody came to my aid. I probably deserved it.